Hello. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name is Jessica Martinez. I am the owner and founder of the Soul Cadence. It is so nice to have you this evening. Have you ever tried a Kundalini class before?
No, never.
Good. I love first timers. A Kundalini class is an ancient tradition. Kundalini is a Sanskrit word that basically means coiled snake. And so it is a belief that at the base of our spine, there is an energetic coiled snake. Maybe something that you can tap into in today's practice, or maybe something that you could just take with you throughout the rest of your day. Um, but one thing, let's turn that on down for a second. That's okay. Thank you so much. Perfect. So this Kundalini energy, this coiled snake that exists at the base of the spine, it is all about kind of tuning in and awakening the higher self. We are trying to turn all of that energy into kinetic energy. And that is a lot of fancy lingo, but you will catch on. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm ready, I'm excited.
One thing that is very important to me in the Soul Studio is that you have ultimate choice. So anything that we're doing in here is up to you, and you have permission to opt out of absolutely anything that we're doing. That includes breath work, mantra, movement. If all you want to do and all your body is asking for today is to just lay on the mat and listen to me guide and teach and listen to the music, then that is totally acceptable. The door is locked from the outside in, but not from the inside out. So if you need to run out, you can. I also have a bathroom. So please feel free to do whatever you need. Sometimes we need permission in life, so you have it. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So before we get started, just kind of finding a place to sit. We like to call this easy pose. Basically, you're kind of like elementary school, crisscross applesauce. You can pull your feet up, but what is most important is kind of tuning into your body and what your body is asking for. You'll notice that I am kind of adjusting and moving around as I feel fit. Please allow yourself to do that as well. One other thing before we get started, do you have any injuries or any um, tightness or anything going on with your body that you would like to let me know about before we get started?
Mm.
Do you also consent to physical touch?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so as we are grounding down, I always like to pull an oracle card before we get started. Taking a nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. And oracle cards are just divine messages from our angels. Angels will find any and every way to get a message through to us. And so this word can be something that is validating in your practice today, something that comes up in your practice today, or maybe something as you're moving through your week, you'll notice becomes a theme. It does not have to be that serious. Oh. Perception. You want to go with that. And what perception has for us is it says perception shapes your reality, coloring how you experience the world. Shift your perspective and you shift your life. What seems like an obstacle can become an opportunity when viewed from a different angle. Be open to seeing things in a new way. Your perception holds the key to your freedom.
Hmm.
Oh, have a nice sound. Yeah, right. Again, we are going to make our way into easy pose. I like to let my eyes close, and you are more than welcome to do that at any point in time in your practice. I would also like to point out to the side of you that there are blocks, pillows, bolsters, anything that you may need throughout your practice to kind of help you and guide your way. Before we get started, I like to tune in with some breath work. So again, finding that easy pose, or honestly anything that your body is asking for. If you'd like to keep those legs straight out, please feel free to do so. But before we do anything, we are going to find a good place for our hands. Maybe we'd like to put them palms up. We can put them in prayer hands, or we can place them on our body. And we're just going to go through some breath work. Today in our class, I'm going to ask for 2 different types of breath. And so before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to both of them. The first one is just a nice, deep, relaxing breath. That is going to be a nice, big inhale through your nose. Typically counting all the way up to 4. Kind of suspending that breath if your body feels like it, and then leaving a nice, big exhale. Sometimes those exhales can be audible. Perfect. That was beautiful. Making that exhale just as long as that inhale, if not longer. We're going to do 3 more of those nice big inhale, exhales. Moving at your own pace. And you're doing a great job of adjusting your body as you still fit. Pulling the shoulders out of the ears. Good. Maybe one nice, big, long one. Maybe we attempt to suspend it over top. Good, nice, big exhale. And speaking of audible exhales, the next breath work that we're going to be doing is breath of fire. So breath of fire is a very cleansing breath. All it takes is 3 minutes a day to kind of change your soma, change the way that you're feeling inside of your body. But those 3 minutes do not have to be consecutive. So open up those palms, shoulders out of your ears, and the breath is going to come from our nose. So it can be any degree of fastness that you'd like it to be. It can be very fast, or you can do it nice and slow. We're going to take a nice big inhale, and the exhale is going to go. Really pushing out those nostrils in any kind of quickness that you'd like to. So are you ready to try? Okay, nice big inhale. You can feel your stomach going out if you'd like to too, and ready when that breath of fire will be ready. Really pulling in with that stomach, activating that core, breathing nice and out that nose, and taking about 10 more seconds with this breath of fire. Noticing the tingling in our body that breath of fire brings. Good. Coming back into your soma, back into your body. I always, always notice that tingling in my hands and my limbs. That breath of fire is moving through us. And we're going to bring those palms at heart center, prayer hands here. And we are going to start rubbing those palms together, generating a little chi, a little bit of energy. This is energy of our own making. This is energy that we give out into the world each and every day. Our love, our passion, our kindness. And whenever you feel ready, you place those palms somewhere on your body, heart center, sacral chakra, power center, wherever feels nice and true and right. Feeling that energy going right back into your body. And this love and this energy is acceptable to you, available to you at any point in time throughout your day. Your own healing, your own energy. Okay. When you're ready, we are going to move into our Kriya today. Our Kriya today is all about the pituitary gland and activating the pituitary gland for our intuition. Now, I know a thing or two about you, and I know you have a good intuition. And sometimes our intuition can get blocked. Sometimes our intuition can get drowned out by other noises and words. And so, tuning into this Kriya and kind of leaning into our pituitary gland is a very good way to balance all of that out and tune into that higher level of knowing that we need, that this is all about. So, a part of this Kriya is the Adi mantra. The Adi mantra is one of my favorite mantras in Kundalini Yoga, and we are going to repeat it a few times. I will say it now, and then you will hear it over the sound, and you are able to sing along or just listen to the words. But the words are Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And that is Sanskrit for I bow to the creative wisdom, I bow to the teacher, the divine teacher within. This is a call to our higher self. It's to help bring out our best during our practice today. So, are you comfortable with the Adi mantra? Excited to get started on it? Okay. Cool. All right. So again, get yourself into easy pose. We typically like to have prayer hands when we are doing our Adi mantra, but like I said before, you are welcome to place your hands anywhere that feels right and true to your body. Trying to ground down into this moment. Take a nice deep inhale. Finding a place for your hands. Like I said, if you want to do prayer hands, shoulders out of our ears, hands on heart center. You can even make this perception mudra here, bringing your index finger to meet your thumb, whatever feels good. Pulling those shoulders, those ears, and focusing on that deep breath we were going through earlier. Doesn't have to be as intentional. Letting those eyes close if that feels right and true. Maybe we let that third eye activate, taking the glance from our eyes in between that spot between our eyebrows. From this spot, maybe we find our Adi mantra, maybe we find some color. Good. Maybe even giving ourselves a nice hum. Humming stimulates the vagus nerve, stimulating that nervous system, that parasympathetic. Connecting ourselves to our highest wisdom, our highest knowing, the divine within. Nice inhales and exhales. Keep it going if you feel. So. One more round. Now that we've gotten it all out. There is no perfectionism. There is no perfect voice. There is no right way or wrong way to do this. Just asking yourself to connect to that higher power. Inviting in any and all ancestors, angels, guides that support you, that walk with you in this life. Last time. Good, nice deep breath. Exhale whenever you're ready. Maybe on that inhale, taking those hands up above your head, finding some love in that body, and that teacher within, honoring all of the teachers that have ever existed within us, outside of us, on our path. Moving into the movement part of this, knowing that that pituitary gland, it is the master gland, it does everything. It controls all of our hormones in our body. It is one that is going to open awareness. When we open the awareness in our body, we are going to balance ourselves out. When the pituitary gland is aware, that leads to our conscious being aware. And that leads to just a closer connection and a clearer view of our intuition and what we are being told. So we are going to start in a lunge. There are a lot of different ways that you can help yourself in a lunge. What I'm asking for right now is a high lunge. So we are going to bring that right foot forward and that left foot is behind us. We can use our hands to support us. And we are going to kick that left foot all the way up. Bringing our hands to our side or bringing our hands down next to us. There are a couple ways that we can adapt this to better serve us in our practice today. You have blocks next to you. You can use a block kind of to set down under your knee. You can also just come down to that knee if that feels good. Coming down into a low lunge, whatever your body is asking for here and now. Taking some nice deep breaths into that lower part of your body. Nice big inhales, nice big exhales. Fully supporting yourself in this moment. Connecting that full part of that right foot into Mother Earth. Our palms into Mother Earth.
And again, we are going to come back to breath of fire. This is optional. You can stay with this nice long breath, or in this high lunge, you can lower down your knee, keeping it where it is, whatever option you'd like to do. And we are going to try some breath of fire. Taking a nice big inhale and starting that breath of fire whenever you're ready. Good. One more nice big one. Really feeling the bottom part of the abdominal section, pulling forward, that root lock engaging. Good. When you're ready, nice big inhale, nice big exhale. You're going to lower that left knee down if it isn't already. And we are going to go into our lunge rest or our pigeon pose. There are a lot of ways that we can adapt our surroundings to help our body. One way that we can do that is find either a cushion, a block, and place it right here so that when we lower our knee down, it has some help. We can also kind of place it here underneath our hip. That is a really nice place to place it if we want a little extra stretch and opening here. But really playing around with any blocks if that feels good. If you don't want to use blocks, we are just going to come right down in that 90-degree angle with that right leg, keeping those hips nice and square. And we are going to come down, if this serves us, onto our arms. Another place that we can help our body feel the most comfortable in this position is using this block to rest our head, either horizontal or vertical. Vertical might be a nice way to kind of help keep that neck in line while also opening up those hips. That's a really nice way for it to feel. Giving yourself whatever you need to help your body out right now. Knowing that this pose is about resting. So how can you lower or adapt to rest into this pose in any sort of way that feels good and right and true in the body? You try giving yourself. Taking a nice deep inhale to lengthen out here from the spine, keeping this nice and straight. Good job. And if none of those blocks feel good the way I put them, you can completely move them out of the way. This is your practice. We're gonna just take one more nice deep breath, deep inhale here. When you're ready, slowly make your way up and out of this position. Before we switch to the other side, I'm going to add in here, this is optional and just a stretch that we can do in the midst of our Kriya. We're going to send our hips back, only if it feels good, bringing that block back to kind of rest our head. Just for a quick second as we adjust and we move from side to side before continuing this practice on the other side of our body. And whenever you're ready, coming back into that high lunge, this time it is going to be with our left foot forward. Taking a nice deep inhale Bringing that left foot forward, keeping those palms engaged with the earth. We're going to push up into that high lunge. Again, if that knee stays down, that is perfect. Also using that block in any way that may help. And keeping that high lunge in a way that feels nice and supportive to opening up those hips. So good. Hands and palms down and practicing those nice, deep, long inhale, exhales. You may notice your body starting to shake a little bit. That isn't always a good sign. That is our power awakening those muscles. We're gonna do, again, some optional breath of fire here. If that feels right and true in your practice this evening. If not, just stay with that nice inhale, exhale. But if you'd like to do breath of fire, taking a nice big inhale. Engaging that lower part of your belly. Feeling that root lock up underneath. Paying attention to what your body is telling you, where it may be lighting up right now. One more nice inhale, breath of fire. Whenever you're ready, letting all of the nice energy settle. Nice inhale, exhale. We're going to move into that lunge rest again. That lunge, that pigeon pose. If you want to use blocks on this side where you used them last time, you are welcome. Otherwise, maybe trying something new, but trying to keep that leg at a 90-degree angle as best as possible, keeping those hips square to the ground and lowering ourselves down into some sort of rest position. This is not as easy as it looks. This is requiring us to open up our hips, and we spend all day long closing them off, protecting that power space, those reproductive organs. And this is an invitation to kind of open them up and go against that. So it's not always going to feel like the most simple task. So supporting ourselves in this way, in any way we can. Again, coming back to that root lock. A root lock is right down at the base of our spine, underneath that coiled snake. We kind of feel a tight squeeze of tension containing our energy there. Pulling in the lower abdomen, kind of shifting those hips forward, engaging that root lock. Taking one more nice inhale, exhale in this restful position. Doing such a great job. Your body exactly what you need. Nice inhale, exhale. And when you're ready, kind of gently making your way out of this position, walking your hands up out of it. So good. And we are going to come to a standing position. Now, please give your body time to adjust. You don't want to see stars. If you want to take a child's pose, you can. You totally can, giving your body exactly what you need. And then when you're ready, making your way to a standing position. We're going to take a nice deep breath and we are going to do a standing forward bend. Now you can kind of just dive down there. You can reach your hands up to the sky. And then slowly, almost like you're dragging your fingers down a wall, vertebrae by vertebrae, kind of stand here in this standing forward bend. There are so many things we can do to support our body in this position. We do not have to touch the floor. We can kind of put opposite hand on opposite elbow and let our head hang. Sometimes it can feel good to kind of rotate back and forth or nod our head no and yes. Another thing that is never expected in standing forward fold is straight legs. You can keep those legs nice and bent. We are wanting those feet flat, that chest up against those thighs, and letting that head and neck hang long. Taking some nice deep inhale, exhales here. Supporting yourself. If this feels like too much, we can come down into a ball. We can even come down into a seated position. Always honoring our body. We're going to take one more nice deep inhale, followed by a nice deep exhale. And I lied. Let's just make it one more. This position feels so good. Really shooting through the backs of those heels, pressing our chest forward, lifting up those hips towards the sky, no matter where you are, just kind of feeling that lift here. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. And slowly, one at a time, one vertebrae at a time, I should say, bringing yourself to a standing position. How are you feeling? You're doing really good. Should be proud of yourself. So the next thing that we are going to do is standing V arms. So you're going to stand kind of hip width apart. We are going to, I'm a cheerleader. It's kind of like a high V with a thumbs up. So holding those 4 fingers in towards us, thumbs up towards the sky. And you can let those eyelids close if that feels good. Rooting down in those heels and engaging that root lock. So really tucking those hips, lowering the space between the top of that pubic bone and the belly button. Good. And from here, we are going to do some nice big inhales. And on the inhales, we are going to imagine, or the exhales, whichever is fitting your body right now. We are going to imagine an energy line coming straight from our heart, shooting all the way out our fingers. Maybe on that exhale, you just feel that nice energetic line. So beautiful. Lowering those shoulders out of your ears. Great, beautiful, energetic line. Maybe this line has a color. Maybe it has an emotion. You're doing so good. One more nice big inhale, one more nice big exhale. Maybe more here, but if you need a couple more exhales, go for it. Spending one more last second with that beautiful energetic line you created from your heart. It is just like that energy we created earlier. It is always accessible to us. When you're ready, bringing those hands down, pulling those shoulders out. Do you need a drink of water or anything like that? Amazing. We are now going to go to our triangle pose. Triangle pose is just like downward dog if you have taken any other sort of yoga class before. And we can get there any way that feels good and true to our body. Now, typical triangle pose in the way that I like to teach it is just like we were in that forward fold. We have an energetic line, maybe an energetic string attached to these hips, pulling us up. From there, we melt our chest to our thighs. Now, the last thing we're going to focus on is lowering those heels and straightening those legs. Those heels do not have to be completely touching the floor for this pose to work, to feel good. And same with those straight legs. If this triangle pose is not feeling like it's part of our practice today, we can come down to all fours. In our tabletop pose here, that is a great thing to do. Another thing that you can always do, if it feels good, is place something kind of underneath those heels to kind of put your heels on. Rolling up any sort of blanket or maybe like pellet that you have laying around. Seeing if that feels good and supportive to your body. If not, you can always get that way. But taking some nice deep breaths here again, coming back to that root lock. Nice deep breaths. One more big inhale. On that exhale, want our chest to deepen a little bit closer to those thighs. Pulling those hips up a little bit further to the root. Amazing. Coming down to our hips. I'm sorry, to our knees. You are already on top of it. A nice deep breath. From here, we're going to go into Cobra. Cobra requires us to kind of lay all the way down on our belly. From here, pushing our chest up and rising our head. If this feels too much, we can always come down to our forearms. And we can even give ourselves some support here, however we need to. But coming up into that full cobra, if that feels good, into our practice today. And we are going to do some cobra neck twists. So engaging that root lock, when we engage that root lock, we're really protecting that lower back. And from here, we're just going to take our neck and twist it side to side. Moving through that nice deep inhale, exhale. So good. If we need to come down to our forearms, we can. Moving at whatever pace your body is asking for tonight. Taking one more nice inhale. One more nice exhale. If you feel like you're taking it into your lower back, definitely lowering those hips down as well as those forearms. Still engaging that root lock, still lifting up in that chest. You notice it's still doing all the right things here in this position. Give me 2 more twists to each side here. So good. If you want to move into a quick child's pose, shake anything out. We are almost done with this Kriya. Can you already feel your intuition getting strong? Did you know I was going to ask you that?
Okay. So the next part of this Kriya is one of my favorite moves ever. And you will see why. It is called the flower blossom. And this move is exactly what it sounds like. It is you as a flower blossoming. So we start with our booty on our heels, just like you're sitting right now. Taking a nice deep breath, bringing those shoulders down, and we start with our forearms here on the mat and then the head on the mat. Here we're kind of like the little bud of the flower. And we take a nice deep inhale. As we inhale, we're bringing our body and our hands up until we reach kind of like a back bend or whatever feels good. Bringing our chest up, like your head falls and we bloom like a flower. And then we inhale it all the way back down to a seated position. And we're gonna take our blooming flower at the pace that feels best for us right now. It's not gonna match mine or the person who may be watching this later. But taking either your bloom on your inhale and coming back into your exhale. Or you can always do it the other way, inhaling it back into the soil and exhaling on that bloom, feeling like an opening, a lifting. Pulling that flower back in. Only opening up until what feels good to our body, not always protecting that lower belly. Flower. Maybe even picturing what type of flower you are. What kind of cool petals you have. What season you bloom in. Let's take two more nice, beautiful big blooms. You're a flower that hasn't even been seen or spotted yet. One of your own creation. So good. Coming back down onto your knees. You can sit your booty back onto your heels, or there is an option to kind of open up those knees against shooting the booty back into the heels, but it feels a little bit different depending on what feels good here. Now, this Kriya ends in a yoga mudra. That is a hand position that we are doing in this child's pose. Again, you have choice on whether you would like to do it or not, but we are going to interlock our fingers for this yoga mudra, kind of like we're holding hands with ourselves. And then as we go into child's pose, we lower our forehead to the mat and our arms interlaced come up and over, holding up behind us, not over rotating, just kind of lifting up and out towards the roof. Taking your time. You can also just kind of try interlacing your fingers, lifting up as you are in this position. So that's another thing you can do. Grab a shirt or a blanket. Here. Hold on to one end. And hold on to the other end, and now bring it up and out, and then stretch those arms out as much as you need to. And you can also rest your head down on a block. Lower down, good. Even straighten out those arms even wider. Wider grasp on that blanket. So good. Take a nice deep breath there. Separating your hand like this. You feel good. Just take a deep breath. And if this isn't supportive in your practice, you can always take a normal child's pose. Moving into whatever your body's asking for right here. Giving thanks to your practice. Giving thanks to your body. Beautiful. You got it, Phil. Perfect. Nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. How of this work your body is doing. And whenever you're ready, moving into spots. Moving into relaxation pose. Supporting yourself with any pillow or blanket that you have next to you. And I'm gonna lower the lighting. Taking a minute to soak in all of the work your body did. Starting to let all of the energetic bubbles of your carbonation settle. Taking a nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Coming back to that word that we pulled earlier, perception. Maybe something in this practice today shifted your perception. Maybe the way that you think about your body. Maybe you can hear that intuition just a little bit clearer. Maybe we're just connected to that divine inner knowing. Placing your hands in a place that feels comfortable on our body, by our side, and just leaning into this moment of ultimate relaxation, honoring our practice, our body. As I mention each body part, you're just going to feel a nice release there. Forehead, eyelids, eyebrows, cheeks, tongue off the roof of your mouth, jaw unclenches, our neck is held, supported. Pulling through our shoulders, out of our ears, down through the elbows, down through the wrists, each finger. Let it go. Our chest awakens, opens. Our breathing becomes natural. Our belly is soft. That energetic power center we invite to open if and only if it feels safe. Relaxing those glutes and moving all the way down the legs, through the knees, through the calf, each toe, each foot bone. One by one, relaxing, releasing. Coming back into your body one last final time. Bringing that eye gaze to that third eye space. As we take an ending meditation here, I invite in the directions and the elements of the east and the air, the west and the water, the south and the fire, and the north, Mother Earth. Inviting in any higher versions of ourself, inner knowing, angels, guides. Thank you for being here throughout our practice and for joining us here in our closing moments. Allowing any messages, colors, pictures, anything of the most benevolent good to come through. Just big inhale, just big exhale. As these frequencies move through your body, I invite you to end with the mantra of Sat Nam. Sat meaning truth, eternal truth, what is real, Nam being identity, essence. Together, Sat Nam interprets to truth is my identity. I honor the truth that is within me, as well as the truth that is within you. And just as we did earlier, whether we're saying it in our head using humming vibrations or audible words. One more time. Truth is my identity. Honoring truth within me. Truth within me. Final time. Spinning. Deep exhale. Thank you so much for taking the time to honor yourself, your body, and higher knowing. Thank you for being open to new ideas and new perspectives. Love yourself extra hard for all the work you did in here today. Always be proud anytime you choose to move this energy. Allowing alchemy to take place. Thank you for being here this evening, Philip.
Thank you.